You know, it's funny how sometimes the most profound truths about life, they only really show up when we're forced to confront its end. Today, we're diving into an absolutely incredible story of survival, of resilience, and what it truly means to be given a second chance.
And that story comes to us from a man named Satoru Komiya. With that one simple sentence, he's inviting us into a journey that didn't just change his world, it completely redefined it. So before this all began, Satoru was just living. He was 38, a loving father to his 5-year-old daughter and his 3-year-old son. You know, a totally normal life. A life just like any of ours, really. Then March 2020 hit. And just like that, Satoru's ordinary reality was completely shattered by a single diagnosis: acute myeloid leukemia.
This line here, it's from his diary, and you can feel it, can't you? There was no warning, no time to prepare. Just this sudden, overwhelming confusion as the life he knew just stopped, and a terrifying new one began. The fight that came next was just grueling. I mean, it wasn't just a battle against cancer cells, it was this intense struggle with losing his own autonomy and the deep, deep emotional pain that came right along with it. His diary shows this moment of just pure vulnerability. The illness was taking away the simplest things he just took for granted, and the emotional toll was just devastating. It's such a powerful reminder of all the hidden battles that go on behind the scenes in a fight like this.
But you know, even in the absolute darkest times, these small moments of connection and love, they managed to shine through, and they gave him the strength he desperately needed to keep going.
For instance, he was so worried about how his kids would react to him losing his hair from the treatment, so he decided to just shave his head. And when he showed them a picture, their response wasn't fear, it was laughter. They just said, "Satoru, you're so funny." In that one innocent moment, they gave him this priceless gift, a little bit of normalcy, a little bit of joy.
So Satoru's best shot at a cure was a transplant, but that meant finding a compatible donor. And so began this desperate search.
The first search, through the bone marrow bank, it came up empty, and that was a huge blow. But then, a totally different path opened up. Hope arrived in the form of a match from a cord blood bank. It was a lifeline from a complete stranger. Satoru's words here, they just capture the incredible weight of that reality. He was being given the gift of life, a gift that was only possible because of the selflessness of a family he would never, ever meet. The transplant was his way forward, his path to survival. But to get there, he had to walk through this valley of just intense fear. And his doctors, they were totally straight with him. They told him that, statistically speaking, there was a 30% long-term mortality rate tied to the procedure and the risk of relapse. And that number, it just haunted him. In the days right before the transplant, his diary entry was just one word, repeated over and over and over. Kawaii. It means scary. This is just a raw, unfiltered look at the pure terror he was feeling. So the path was set. After months of fighting this thing, the decision was made in July. On August 18th, he got the transplant. And then, everyone just had to wait and hope the new cells would take hold. You know, it's funny. After all that psychological buildup, all the anxiety, the terror, the actual moment of the transplant felt almost anticlimactic. As he put it, the whole procedure was over in a flash. And then, on September 4th, the news they were all waiting for finally came. The donated cells had successfully engrafted. They were working. It was official. This was day one of his second life. He actually celebrates it now as his new birthday. So what do you bring back with you from a journey like that? For Satoru, it was a completely new way of looking at life, at strength, and what it really means to recover. He learned this new definition of resilience. It wasn't about forcing himself, that I must get better attitude. It was something gentler, but way more powerful. It was a better than yesterday mindset. The goal wasn't some giant leap. It was just one small, sustainable step forward every single day.
And now Satoru is focused on passing on the gift he was given. He calls it the Baton of Life, and he's dedicated his life to turning his experience into a positive force for other people.
During his recovery, he actually found a ton of strength in the music of the artist Lizzo and her message of body positivity. He adopted her practice of powerful self-affirmation, looking in the mirror and telling himself these 3 things: I love you, you are beautiful, and you can do anything. It became a core part of his new philosophy. And this all leads to his ultimate realization. He doesn't see his illness as some random, terrible thing that happened to him. It's not a scar he's trying to hide. Instead, it's become this integral, important part of his story and who he is today. Satoru's journey, it really shows how our most difficult experiences can become a source of profound strength and purpose. And it kind of leaves us with a question to think about, right? What challenges in our own lives, big or small, could we maybe transform into a baton to pass on to someone else?